Hi guys, and welcome to my channel, Changing Phases Tarot. So happy to have you here with me today. Now today's reading will be a general reading for all of the astrological signs for the month of April 2018. I'll be doing a 10-card Celtic cross spread for the reading, and we'll pull 3 oracle cards, right, to just give some added messages and guidance to go along with the spread, the tarot spread. For the main spread, I will be using the Crystal Visions Tarot deck. If I need to pull clarifiers, I'll use the pocket edition of the Klimt Tarot. And then the 3 oracle card decks. I have the Ask Your Guides deck by Sonia Choquette, the Sacred Traveler by Denise Lynn, and Whispers of Love by Angela Hartfield. Okay. Just a quick reminder, I will be putting out on the 31st of this month, we have our second full moon of the month, which is the blue moon, right? So I'll be putting out a special full moon spread for that, as well as the second tarot reading giveaway for the month of March. So be looking out for those 2 special videos. They'll be coming out within the next couple of days, okay? And again, just remember that these are general readings, so the messages may or may not resonate with you. If you would like to have a more personalized reading focusing on you, what's going on specifically in your life right now, you'd need to get a private reading from me. If you're interested, you could take a look at my site, changingphasestarot.weebly.com. There you'll find pricing as well as the types of videos that I offer. Or you could email me at changingphasestarot@gmail.com. I would also encourage you to watch not just your sun sign reading, but also your moon and your rising sign videos. Okay, that way you can, if one of the videos, maybe the messages won't resonate as well this month, the others might, or by using all 3 together, you'll have a more complete, overview of what will be coming up for you during the month. So I think that's it for now as far as messages go, right? So I will see each of the signs. I'll see you all in 1 second for your reading. Bye for now. Hi Libra, hope you're doing well. I'm here to get into your April 2018 general reading. As you can see, I have already shuffled off camera and have laid out the spread here just to save a little bit of time. So let's go ahead. Let me lower my camera here so we can see the cards a little better. All right, so let me show you, I'll go through just show you the cards, and then I'll go through and give you, the general meaning and sort of tie everything together. I did pull clarifiers, and I'll get to those, when I'm going through that portion of the reading. But the center of your reading, you have the 2 of Swords, and it's being crossed by the Queen of Swords. Okay, at the foundation of your reading, you have Major Arcana number 15, the Devil. In the past position, you have the 5 of Pentacles. Crowning your reading, you have the 7 of Wands. In the future position, you have the Queen of Cups. You in the reading appear as Major Arcana number 9, Hermit. Surrounding you in your environment, or how others are viewing you, you have the Page of Swords. Your hopes and fears, you have the 6 of Wands. The outbound energy for the month, so leaving the month of April, heading in to May, you have the 7 of Pentacles. And the overall energy for the month of April for you, the card that was at the bottom of the deck, is the King of Wands. Okay, and I will show you, I pulled 3 oracle cards go along with the reading, and I'll show you those after we sort of move through the main spread. Okay, so starting off with this King of Wands, the overall energy for the month. Like I usually say, when we have court cards appearing in a reading, and we do have a couple of court cards. We have the Queen of Swords at the center of your reading. You have the Queen of Cups here in the future position, Page of Swords over here in the environment position, and then the King of Wands as the overall energy. So there could be actual people that are playing a prominent role, right, during the month of April. If so, then typically this King of Wands would be an older fire sign individual, male or female, right? Even though it's the king, we know in the general readings, it could be either king, it could be a male or a female here, so not gender specific. Typically, this would be an older fire sign individual, Aries, Sagittarius, or Leo. Or this could be just an event, right? Or this could be you taking on the energy of this King of Wands. Now, the suit of Wands itself has to do with day-to-day matters, right? Things that we deal with on a daily basis, the work that we do. It has to do with our, like the home, those chores around the home as well. It has to do with our family. Wands can also have to do with, our drive and ambition for getting things, those day-to-day matters done, right? And the king, usually with the kings and queens, they have really mastered that particular suit. So, this could be somebody who has, mastered the suit of Wands. So, somebody who is, a leader, somebody who has great vision, somebody who's very charismatic. People just sort of follow, that person's guidance, because that person is usually, a strong, sort of assertive individual. Usually we think of the King of Wands as kind of a force to be reckoned with. He has great insight, has great vision, and he's not afraid to move forward and, act on that. He is pictured here, obviously, with the lion. So, again, could be a Leo, or, the lion is representing strength. Somebody who is, very, very forceful, has a lot of, great emotional strength. Somebody who's not afraid to, stand up to a challenge. Kind of a born leader here. So again, could be, a fire sign individual that's playing a significant role, or could be you just, feeling more or taking on more the energy of this King of Wands as you move through the month. And let's see how this King of Wands ties in with everything else that we have going on here, okay? And then we'll sort of, come up with a complete message for the reading. So here at the center, right, the Two of Swords crossed by the Queen of Swords. So lots of mental energy going on right here. Lots of thinking, really, in your head a lot, right? The suit of swords itself has to do with communication. It has to do with the intellect, our mind, our thoughts. It has to do with, the imagination as well, sort of coming up with thought, coming up with new ideas. But with the Two of Swords, it's usually it's referred to as like a stalemate card, right? Because it represents sometimes being in two minds about something and not being able to. You see how she's, she has a blindfold on. She's in a very defensive position here with the swords, crossing her chest, sort of defending herself here. And she's either unwilling, right, or unable to make a decision, right, or to see a situation for what it really is. Maybe she's unwilling to see a situation for what it is, right? But she has this, in the helper or hindrance position, right? Crossing this, there's this Queen of Swords. So usually the Queen of Swords is somebody who is, very good at communicating, very direct, to the point, very good at, cutting through the BS to get to the heart of the situation, to get to the truth. So, possibly this is an older air sign individual, could be, who's coming in and helping with this, stalemate situation. If so, then this would be usually an older air sign individual, again, male or female, not gender specific, but either a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. And this person is, like I said, she's very good at figuring out, right? She's analytical. She's good at figuring things out. She really knows how to, she's good at cutting through whatever, if there's any doubt, because we see that, like with the Two of Swords card, the person has the blindfold on, so unwilling to see things for what they are, right? Or being unable to see things for what they are. Therefore, there could be a problem, but maybe you've been unable or you've been unwilling or avoiding even making a decision, right? Maybe there are two different paths, two things that you have to, or choose between, but you, for whatever reason, you haven't been able to do that, or that's, it's been a challenge for you. So then the Queen comes in and, she really rules with her head. She's somebody, if there's a head or heart decision, she'll definitely go with her head, right? Uses her intellect to her ability. You see, she has the sword of truth, of justice. She has it drawn here, and it looks like she's ready for battle, to take on whatever she needs to take on here, even though there isn't, there's really no adversary in sight. She's ready for battle. So she's very, even though she prefers to use her intellect to communicate, to diffuse, conflict situations, she's ready for battle, right? So she's somebody who could definitely help get out or move out of this Two of Swords energy here. So another, restrictive energy. So we have this sort of restrictive energy here of the Two of Swords. As a foundation, you have the Devil card. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me go back. I did pull Clarifiers. That's what I was forgetting. I pulled Clarifiers on the Two of Swords and the Queen of Swords. Sorry for that. The cards that came out, and this is from the Klimt Pocket Tarot. Very, very small. The cards are very pretty, but very small. I'll try to hold them up. You can see, but we have, and there are repeater cards. Interesting, because in a lot of the clarifiers, so I pulled clarifiers on the center cards, and I pulled clarifiers on the foundation card of the Devil, and there are quite a few repeaters that you have in the original spread. So in the past position, we have the Five of Coins, right? Five of Pentacles, which is exactly what sits in the past position in the reading. You have Major Arcana. Sorry for the glare. Major Arcana number 14. Do you see that? Yeah, that's a bit better. Okay. And sitting in the future position, the Queen of Wands. So you have the King of Wands as the overall energy for the spread, and the Queen of Wands, came out here as the clarifier. So starting off with the Five of Pentacles, this is a card that generally speaks of financial difficulties, right? Financial, some type of lack as far as finances go. Feeling as though you're left out in the cold, not having enough, financially speaking, right? Because maybe emotionally you do have, the love, support of the family, but financially you're feeling kind of left out. Then we have, sitting in the middle position here, we have the patience, right? This is the Major Arcana. And patience speaks of a couple of different things. It can have to do with balance, right? Or temperance, right? And the Temperance card has to do with balance, has to do with moderation. It has to do with the ability to analyze, right? The ability to analyze a situation. It also has to do with wisdom, and from this balanced, place, being able to figure out something, right? Or using that balanced state to be able to make a decision. And then you have this very fiery, Queen of Wands here on this, the outbound card. So, the Queen of Wands is usually much like we have with the King of Wands. She is also, quite a force to be reckoned with, because she's she's a real, she's a go-getter. She's she's one of those people who, she's kind of in a million different places at one time, handles lots of things at one time, juggles lots of things, but she's very good at juggling everything. She's very good at, she's very good at what she does, so she's able to be in a million places, at the same time, but she does everything very well and very thoroughly. So, she's a very sort of proactive figure, and she's also a very powerful figure. She's a very she's also understanding, right? She is an understanding person, but she's she's kind of a force to be reckoned with. So with these cards coming out on this Two of Swords, Queen of Swords, the message coming through as far as, moving out of this feeling of lack, of lacking in the financial sense of financial need. There was some need for balance, for bringing things into balance. Then, I see you poised here to really take on whatever you need to take on. And even though these are obviously two different suits here, we have, the Queen of Swords and the Queen of Wands, two different suits, two different energies. They're both, they're both strong figures, and they're both figures who can kind of make things happen. I feel that, this is more you just taking matters into your own hands here, okay? Now, going down to the Devil card, right? And like I said, I pulled more cards on the Devil card. So the Devil card really speaks of, like here we were talking about the need for moderation. Sometimes the Devil card can have to do with the lack of, like overindulgence or the lack of moderation, right? So overindulging can have to do with those unhealthy habits, right? For example, anything can become unhealthy, right? It can be a relationship, even things like eating, which is something that everybody needs for nutrients, but if you overindulge, then it can go to the negative side, right? Same thing with drinking, same thing with anything. So it's all about the excess, right? And overindulging. Or allowing yourself to kind of be taken in with this, taken in by this devil energies, which is why we have, the Temperance card, need for moderation here. So, with the Devil card at the foundation, there could be some type of, feeling bound to material possessions, and with this Five of Pentacles sitting in the past position, and this feeling of there's something lacking here, there could be some type of unhealthy relationship to, to material things, could be, again, a situation, a relationship, that sort of toxic person, that toxic relationship, an unhealthy connection to that. But, with the Pentacles sitting in the past, I feel that it could possibly be more to do with, finances here. But it's, generally it's just an unhealthy, right? It's an unhealthy connection or an unhealthy attachment to these things, along with this feeling of hopelessness, feeling of being, too tied to something. Sometimes the Devil card also speaks of our fears, it can be this sort of unhealthy attachment to, or focusing too much on, on our fears, a need to really focus more on possibly shifting the way, the way that we think, because it can be unhealthy thinking as well, right? So looking towards changing that the way of thinking. And then the cards that came out as clarifiers on this, we have the Two of Pentacles, right? So another card that can have to do with juggling, right? Juggling finances, balance as well. So this comes up once again here. Then we have I love this card. Let me see if I hope I can show it well. So this is card number 18 of the Major Arcana. It's very beautiful in this deck, right? And it's the Moon card. And then we have as the outbound energy here, the third card is another Major Arcana, but it's card number 21 of the Major Arcana, which is the World card. So, with these three cards coming out on the Devil, what this tells me is, again, sitting in the past position, we have this balancing of finances, because Pentacles, the suit of Pentacles, it deals with usually material things, such as the work that we do, the money that we earn for the work that we do, the material possessions that we are able to accrue with this money, our homes, families, knowledge, wealth, prosperity in general. But with the two, there's this juggling, there's this balance, trying to keep all the balls up in the air, at the same time, which isn't always easy. And sometimes this, the card can be literally, trying to make ends meet, trying to keep things, balanced, maybe, not paying one bill that month in order to cover another one that's more important. So it's, kind of this struggle of keeping everything in balance. In the middle position with the Moon card, the Moon usually speaks of, again, it can be fears. Sometimes, with the Moon, it can have to do with, the need to uncover fears. It can have to do with, like in the negatives, looking at more like the shadow side of it, it can be repressed emotions, unhealthy motives. Instead of dealing with things sort of head on, maybe trying to even, turning to, like I was saying here, it could be alcohol, abusing things. Like alcohol could be food, could be, for some people, even drugs. But it's trying to sort of numb the senses so that you don't have to deal with that tough issue, or you don't have to face those fears, or uncover that truth. So in the shadow side, it could be more to do with that. But generally, the Moon speaks of, it's a card of dreams, it's a card of intuition, it's a card of psychic abilities. But whereas the sun, the sun shines its light to enlighten, to illuminate, the Moon comes in, and yes, it does shine a light down, but it also casts shadows. So that's why there's always this sort of hidden element when the Moon card appears, right? There's this sort of hidden, that's why we have to use our intuition, use those, signs, synchronicities, dreams to uncover something, because, we're not seeing maybe the whole truth, and it comes after this Two of Pentacles. But then, the outbound card here is the World card, which is all about, it's all about endings and beginnings, right? The World is the last card of the Major Arcana, and really represents, it's the culmination of the Fool's journey. So the Fool sets off his journey with the Zero card, right? And goes through all of the trials and tribulations until reaching the World card. So it's the end, it's this end of a cycle, a very long cycle, right? But there's also new beginnings, new births, new, happiness coming in, emotional breakthroughs possibly. So with these three cards coming out on the Devil card, there could be at the core this sort of need for balance, right? Need for facing or uncovering certain things, right? In order to break whatever this tie is, and again, this can play out in many different ways, but some type of, sort of attachment to, and then fill in the blank, whatever that is, that happens to be negative. Now, in the past position, I've already talked about this card, right, because it did come out here with the Clarifier. So Five of Pentacles in the past, feeling very neglected, very left out in the cold, can represent as well failure, loss. Sometimes it can represent like ill health, like not, somebody being either you or possibly a child or somebody around you being sick. It can also represent financial insecurity, loss of a job, anxiety goes along with that. I'm just going back here, and it sits in the past position here. But yeah, so maybe for some of you, there could have been, maybe there was, a loss of a job in the past, or maybe you have experienced some type of financial difficulty, right? But you're coming out of that, and it does seem as though you're definitely, moving away from that. It is in the past position here. And, what we have crowning your reading with the Seven of Wands, this is this is sort of the warrior spirit, right? This is you just, even though you see there are many different spears pointing at him. So, at first glance, it looks as though he is outnumbered. It looks as if it's slightly unfair because, how is he going to take on all the six, things pointing at him there? But if you look at it more closely, he is actually, he's up on this high, he has a higher vantage point. He also has the dragon. The dragon has wings. They could easily just, fly away to get out of that situation. He also has a shield, so he is defending himself, right? So, he's poised and ready to defend whatever he needs to defend here. So it's, it's all about you standing up for yourself, right? This is you you dealing with whatever this, conflict might arise, whatever struggle. This is you just feeling very, very confident and just ready to take on whatever comes at you, right? And what's coming up in the future position is another court card, this Queen of Cups. So this could be an individual, right, coming in, more towards the middle to end of the month, coming in to possibly be of some assistance, or, may play an important role in some way. If so, this would be an older water sign individual, male or female, but Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. And this person is also, the suit of cups itself, it has to do with our feelings, right? Feelings, emotions, also intuition, has to do with relationships and how our emotions and feelings influence the relationships that we have. And this queen, she's a very loving figure. She's very compassionate. She's a good listener, but she's also good at using her intuition to figure things out, right? She's very sensitive. She's kind of that caregiver, that caregiver figure. So she's a very loving mother. She's a very kind and caring girlfriend or spouse, partner. So again, could be this person, could be just a situation, or could be you taking on the energy of this Queen of Swords, using your intuition, or handling a situation, whatever's coming in or coming more towards the end of the month, handling it in a more compassionate way, right? Seeing things from a more compassionate point of view, possibly. And you appearing as the Hermit here, and the Hermit is somebody who, he decides to, and here we have this, she's actually it's a lady, it's not a he, but, the Hermit goes within, right? The Hermit is seeking the truth, seeking that light, but by going inwards. So this could be you, reflecting on this, whatever this Two of Swords situation is. This could be you reflecting on, what went on with the Five of Pentacles, and, the difficulties that you have faced. And you're just kind of, retreating in order to, possibly putting things on hold a little bit, removing distractions, and really concentrating on, the situation at hand, like focusing on that, meditating on that, figuring out what your next steps are, if the path that you chose, that you're on, if that's the right one for you. So it's all about gaining, this greater perspective and deeper understanding of the situation and, in a more broader sense of the universe, of the world. And how others are viewing you or what you have going on in your environment is this Page of Swords. So more swords energy. So more, intellectual, more using your mind, communicating. And this page is a very good communicator, and this Page of Swords, you can see again, just like we had with the Queen of Swords, the page has her sword drawn, she's ready for battle, really don't see, anybody, coming in. There really isn't a conflict inside or anything going on around her, but she's there, she's ready for conflict, but she's, she likes using, much like the Queen, although the Queen is on a higher level, but she likes using her intellect to diffuse problems. She doesn't like conflict. She uses her intellect. She's a good communicator. She's, very sort of rational. She's good at solving problems, and even though things around her, you see there are all these ravens sort of flying in opposite directions and everything looks very kind of dark and almost scary going on around her. She has, you see there's light coming behind her. We have the light off the sword. So she's very, she remains calm. So even though you might be feeling, a little bit sort of, oh, I'm going within, trying to figure things out, people see you as somebody who, is ready, ready for action, very clear, very sharp, and kind of ready to tackle, whatever's coming at you. Your hopes and fears is that you will be victorious, right? You have the Six of Wands card, which is a card of victory. It's a card of recognition. It's a card of receiving, some type of award, laurel, recognition. So you're hoping for success, you're hoping that whatever this choice is or however you decide to move forward here, you're hoping for success. You're hoping that things will work out. You're hoping that you'll receive some type of acknowledgement or recognition. You're hoping for victory. Again, we have the reference here to clear vision, right? Using your intuition, having good insight. We see the same vision, right? The same ball, the crystal ball here on the King of Wands card as well. So, you're hoping to be able to have that insight, to use your intuition, right? To have the clarity, to be able to have success with whatever this decision is, however you're deciding to move forward. And as you leave the month, you have the Seven of Pentacles. Now, this, Pentacles energy, we already talked about it, but the Seven has to do with it's feeling, and there's a progression, obviously, where you've gone from the Five of Pentacles in the past to, not a huge progression. You've moved up from the 5 to the 7. But the Seven of Pentacles, it's a good card because it shows that, the woman here, you can see she has quite a few, all the pentacles around her. She has this nice basket of fruit. So, she's looking, if you compare the two, she's left this very cold, out in the cold, not having enough in the past. And here, she's looking very, very pleased, right? Sometimes it has to do with reaching some type of milestone, so maybe if there was something that, that you have been working on, by the time you get to the end of the month, you start seeing more, like progress, or you start seeing, the fruits of your labor. So it does, you've reached some type of goal or milestone. Again, there's a reevaluation of kind of, okay, so I've done this, made some changes, taken this new path, or decided to do this, that, or the other. And, I am seeing positive results from that. Do I keep going down this path? Do I need to fine tune anything? Do I need to tweak anything before I, keep going? So it's kind of a time to pause, reevaluate next steps. rest if you have been working quite hard, right? Take a couple of hours out of your day, or just to rest, but moving forward, and keeping your here, you're all about outgrowing this, 7 into the 8, into the 9, the 10 of Pentacles. So you've done well. You're feeling proud of yourself here. You're feeling good. There has been gain, but you're really focusing on, okay, and what do I need to do? Is doing what I have been doing, is that enough? Is that going to, get me to the 10 of Pentacles, or do I need to change anything? So it's kind of, feeling good for what you have achieved, but still keeping your eye on, long term, what is it that you want? Now, the 3 cards that came out, let me show you. I'll show you each card, and then I like to read the full description for the card. So from the Whispers of Love deck, okay, we have: look at your pattern in relationships. It requires inner strength to recognize that you need to change or modify your behavior. Let me hold this up so you can get a good look at the card. Okay. From the Ask Your Guides Oracle card deck, we have Exhaustion, Divine Helpers. And from the Sacred Traveler deck, we have Ascending the Mountain, Keep Going Forward. Okay, so let me start off with the Whispers of Love card. Let me find it first here. And it says, this is card number 32. It says, take time to look at the pattern and what drives you to attract this type of person into your life in the first place. You'll then find that the next person you meet will have very similar qualities to your last partner, as that is what you are energetically attracting. Once you learn the lesson, you will be able to attract a healthy outcome. Which is interesting, because if we go back to this Devil card, remember I said, because of the Pentacles, it could be more related to finance here, but obviously the Devil card can speak of those, like I said, the toxic relationships, those negative relationships. So for some of you, on the relationship side, there could be a need to change or modify your behavior. Maybe you are attracting the wrong type of person, right? And we do have, with the Moon card, right? I was saying about sort of facing your fears on the shadow side, right? Facing your fears. What is it that you do keep attracting? And why is it that, if you always tend to attract the same type of individual, and it always ends up in the same way, and after you end it, you're like, oh, why do I always do that? Well, there's a reason. What is that reason? So try to focus on that, uncover it, change it, because if you do, then there can be new starts. With the World card coming out after the Moon card on the Devil, there could be, right, by changing or modifying your behavior. Now, the Exhaustion card here says Divine Helpers. Let me find it here. This is card number 20. Here we go. The key words that go along with the card, it says overload, workaholism, overdrive. Your divine helpers are here advising you that while it's essential that you do everything in your power to fulfill your goals, it is equally important to know when to back off and allow the universe to work its magic on your behalf. You've done enough. Allow these beautiful and highly competent guides to step in and take over. Your enthusiasm is your gift, but unless it's properly contained, it can undermine your best intentions. Your divine helpers gently remind you that just as plants need water to grow, too much will drown their ability to blossom. The same principle applies to your efforts. Overdoing is fear in disguise. Do not allow it to keep you in the manic mode. Give yourself more breathing space. Trust that your divine helpers are on the job overseeing your success so you can rest. You need to let go and turn responsibilities over to others. Just because you need rest doesn't mean that they do. Ask your divine helpers for assistance in this. They know better than you what is needed right now. Ease up and let them work their miracles. Their message? Rest. Which is interesting because we did have here the hermit, and although the hermit isn't, necessarily about resting, it is about retreating, right? It is about thinking about next steps. So, and I did say, about meditation. So possibly by meditating and asking for, help from your spirit guides, there could be benefit, right? To, not, if you have been, especially with the Seven of Wands here, if you've been really tackling everything on your own, call on, it's okay to sort of ease up, call on the help of your spirit guides to come in and help, right? That could be needed for some of you. And the last card, the Ascending the Mountain. And this card says, let me find it here. It says, the journey might be hard right now, but a great view awaits you. You most certainly can achieve your goal. However, you must continue forward through hard work and diligence. Do not give up. Even if it seems hard, keep going forward. Even if it sometimes seems that you are going up 3 steps and falling back 2, you are still getting closer to your goal. Sometimes you may need to take smaller steps, but do not stop. Every step takes you closer to the peak of the mountain. And when you arrive, the view will be spectacular. It will be worth all your hard effort. The sacred traveler wants you to know, it's okay to stumble or fall down, just don't stay down. Do not allow yourself to be limited by the beliefs of others or even by your own limiting beliefs or fears. Go beyond boundaries of self-imposed barriers. Live passionately and courageously. Keep moving forward fearlessly. Speak up for yourself. Honor your truth. This isn't the time to be timid or hold back. Go forward gallantly with your banner of truth waving in the wind. You are a light bearer for others. And I think this is, I think this goes along here with the, with the Seven of Wands crowning your reading, and then, you have the King of Wands as the overall energy, and then moving away. Remember I said that there has been growth, maybe things have been difficult, you've fallen, you've gotten back up, but progress has been made here, right? You've got, things are gradually getting better for you, right? And it's all about forward movement, right? Don't give up. Keep going, right? Keep moving along the path that you are on, and there's definitely. And I feel that with this King of Wands, and you also have the Queen of Wands here, and then the Queen of Swords. I mean, you're in the Queen of Cups. I mean, it seems as though you are, you are sort of taking on this energy, and you're feeling, very, very much like you can achieve what it is that you want to. So just don't give up. Keep moving forwards. That's the main message here. So I do hope that the messages have helped you in some way, Libra. I thank you for joining me here today. I look forward to reading for you again. And just know that I'm sending you all much peace, love, and light for a wonderful month of April. Bye for now.